Welcome everybody, Farm Sim Snowy here. In this video we're going to look at a new mod map released for Farming Simulator 19. This is Bacuri Map by Mods BR. It's 121.49 megabytes to download. Description there says, welcome to Bacuri Farm, located in the extreme north of Para. Here you will find a lot of beauty in the landscape and be dazzled by the immensity of the land. Contains several points of sale. In addition to traditional cultures, we have rice, black beans, millet, sorghum and brachiaria. The headquarters of the farm has a specific field for rice. Contains animals in the seat itself. It also contains BGA, lumber, sale of cotton, wool and bells. Prepared for seasons, prepared for precision farming. We hope everyone has fun. So let's jump into it and check it out. And here we are at our starting farm. This is where you start on all three modes. So we'll just walk in a little bit so you can see the yard. Then we'll look at the map. Now, weirdly enough, we had Bacuri Farm 2K21 last week, I think on the 1st of July. Now we've got this, and it's pretty much, it's done obviously by two separate modders, but it is pretty much identical in terms of the layout. The only differences I can see really is the main farm area is slightly different layout. We had I think it was quite a huge cow pasture here. These two fields weren't here, this was just one whole field. So the sawmill, I think the main differences are possibly up in this top half of the map on this new one. This is all the same with the little pond lake in the middle of this field, and you know, the layout of the sell points are pretty much exactly in the same places bar a couple of them. It's just different buildings, and there's different sort of decorations on here if you want to put it like that. But there's the map. As you can see, you've got some huge fields on here. I'm in new farmer mode, so in new farmer mode we start with all of this area. This is the specific rice field that they talk about in the description, and then we've got this quite huge area here. Now it could be grass in there, I'll show you in a second, but it doesn't look like fully, you know, grown grass. It doesn't look very thick, so I don't know if you'll be able to mow it, or you just need to plough it through and make it into a more arable field. So the prices are quite expensive on here, but they are big fields. So this area here, if you're in Farm Manager or start from scratch, this will cost you 1.8 million. Field 5's 3.5 million. 6 is 4.3 million. 8 3.3, 7's a bit smaller, 535. I think 10 probably looks the smallest, but that is still 499. And then this one, 709,000 as well. You can buy sort of the outside of the map, which takes in all the roads and the sell points. That's going to cost you 9.2 million as well, so quite hefty. There is a BGA on here, as it says. You can purchase that for £405,000, euros or dollars, which is quite expensive as well. So yeah, we've got a few sell points dotted around, and like the map last week, we've got the lime station up in this corner, which is like the quarry sort of mine type, but it's not as steep to get down on this map. But again, we'll check all that out in a second. So on our main farm, we've got a farmhouse with a sleep trigger. We've got a silo, but interestingly enough, it's yellow, whereas yellow is normally sell points, and buy points or silos are in white like that, but that's in yellow. We've also got pigs, cows and chickens on our farm, which we'll check out as well in a second. But that is pretty much the map, and we'll do a little tour around. So slot counts, let's have a look at those, and equipment. So like I say, I'm in new farmer mode. So the slot count is 499 out of 1299. If you sell off the whole of your garage, you can get that down to 339. Now I'll go through the equipment now. So this is what you get in new farmer mode. So we get a Massey Ferguson 5613, the New Holland TX32 harvester, the 78 Lizard pickup, Strautmann SEK 802. We've got a header for a harvester, we've got a plough, we've got a seeder, fertiliser spreader, we've got the Joskin Aquatrans for your water, front loader with a bucket, and we've got a weight. Then we move on to our animal pens. These are just the standard in-game small pens. So this cow pasture will hold 50, pig enclosure hold 100, chickens hold 100. We've got a silo which is modded in. That takes pretty much everything. That's 400,000 litre capacity. We've got 3, I think, farm storage shelters. That's standard in-game. And then we've got a standard in-game farmhouse. So that is what we start off with in new farmer mode. Now in farm manager and start from scratch, you start off with all the equipment, but it ends there at the weight. So you don't get any buildings, any animal pens, and obviously no land as well. In those two modes it's 437 slots, and again if you sell everything off you can get that down to 339 slots as well, but you will not have any of the buildings, etc. There's only modded in, I think it's 4 silos. That's the only thing I could find. Yeah, just silos. So if we come to the end, we've got these 4 silos modded in. So we've got a large grain silo which will just hold your standard crops plus the custom ones, 200,000 litres. We've got a smaller one, 100,000 litres. We've got the large silo extension which gives you another 100,000 litres, and then we've got this one which is at our farm now. Interestingly enough, that holds more than the others, 400,000 litres, and it holds everything, and it's cheaper. Well, it's certainly cheaper than the large one, so it's only 150,000. That is all I could find in terms of modded in items. If we go into here, we scroll to the end, you'll see the custom crops which I did read out earlier, but it didn't have on that list rye. So just after the digestate symbol there, in this order, we've got the Brachiaria, rice, rye, millet, black bean and sorghum. Now another interesting thing I've noticed earlier, just to point out, there is nowhere to sell rye, as you can see on the map. Just one thing to point out. And also there's nowhere to sell oat, where you can see there, third symbol in from the left. And we do in new farmer mode start off with 9,739 litres of it, but we've got nowhere to sell it. So just pointing that out for you guys. There is contracts available, and because these fields are huge, look at the prices they're paying. Madness. So it won't take you long to get your money up there. That is that. Right, let's have a run round the farm. So this is our silo, nice and big. Tip in is just there, and your pipe is just there. That has got light up there, although I haven't found a light switch. It could be automatic. So we've got some storage shelters over there with some of our equipment, these big sheds as well, little buildings. So in Farm Manager and Start from Scratch, if you come on here, you won't have any of the silo, farmhouse, these storage shelters, but these big sheds, these white buildings and there, that white building and that big shed over there, they will still be here. They're fixed in place, but everything else would be disappeared. So round here, nothing going on there, that's just decoration. We've got our standard in-game farmhouse with the garage and the pickup in. Come inside the front door, sleep trigger. If we run round this side, we've got some more of our equipment under this big shed. We've got our cow pasture there. We've got our pig pen just there, and then over this side we've got our chickens just there. Now this huge sort of field or area, if you want to say that, is just here. So it's all this, and as you can see what I mean about the grass, it doesn't look very full, does it? It looks a bit, so you probably will be able to mow that, but I don't think you're going to get a lot off of it. But that gives you a good starting field though, quite a big size. This is the rice field, which it says in the mod hub description. I don't think it's one of the ones that can be flooded, although it does look a bit wet here. There is a pipe up here, but I've found no sort of turn on point, tap point, because we do have some water tanks here and we've got a water point just there, like so. More shelter there with our harvester in. As you can see, that is pretty much our farm area. So we're going to run back over here and grab the pickup and we'll have a whiz round. We can cut through this way, I think. Nice lovely green pickup. Right, off we go. Let's just zoom out a bit so it gives you a chance to see some of the scenery. I don't think I've missed anything before we leave this area. It's pretty I don't know, it's not as the last one felt a little bit sort of, I don't know, rustic. That's probably not the right word to use. This one seems to have a bit more trees and these bushes on the side of the road, and some of the tracks, they're not as red. The last one had that quite sort of red colour sand that we've had in some of the Brazilian maps. But it doesn't look bad. And then that water point, which was out there, it's surrounded by trees. You can just see the sort of palm trees. That's it's not a water point anymore, it's just a lake. Whether you can get water from that lake, I'm not sure, I've not tested it. But we'll come down into the first of the sell points, which is one of your main sell points. So that is just there. As you can see, you've got two options by the look of it. So we come out the main farm along and we're down here now, which is Grain Ranch. So the ones with grain on them, so we've got Grain Ranch, we've got Bacuri grain, and Cooper grains. They're your three main sell points, as you can see. All the others are specific to different items. So Grain Ranch will do all of your standard crops. You've got potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane, and then some of the modded custom crops, rice, millet, black bean and sorghum. That will do. So we'll go back out and we've got, just like the last map, animal dealer just outside, although slightly different as well. I'm pretty sure the last map was a bigger building and it was the full length of the building. It was one of those ones with the bays. But there's your huge dialogue box there, if you want to call it a dialogue box, for your animals. and we will go back out this way. Some of these tracks are a little bit bumpy as well. The roads are smooth enough, but it's just the tracks. And then we've got another sell point just in here. These barriers do open automatically when you get near them, so it's just tucked in around the back here, as you can see, just there. We're now at Dairy Bacuri, which is gonna be just for sugar beet, sugar cane, milk. Is that it? Yeah, I was going to say just milk, but it does sugar beets and sugar cane. So we'll come up this way now, head north and check out these three areas. I don't know, I'm not going to compare them, but I probably prefer this map, I think, than the last one. I don't know why, it just feels I don't know, it just feels like there's a little bit more going on and it feels a bit more real, I think. That's just my personal opinion. So we've got a fuel station here, as you can see on the left we've got a workshop trigger and our fuel pump's just there. Back out onto the road. On the left we've got our shop. So in behind the glass there you've got your shop buy point for your shop menu, and then in underneath the shelter we've got a workshop trigger again, so quite close to the fuel station one. I don't know if this fuel pump works. Let's have a quick. No, didn't do anything unless we haven't used any fuel. This is also your reset point, and obviously if you buy anything it appears out here. Quite a huge area, open space. So back out. Oh god, we've got a traffic jam. Look at that. Lorry drivers, look. So we carry on along here. I think it's right in here. Again, it's similar sort of layout, but it's just different styles of sale points. So just there we've got our sale point. As you can see, this is market, but obviously it looks like the Ledley supermarket. This will do potatoes, sugar beets, eggs, nice price for eggs there, and milk. Anything else? Nope, that is it for market. Now we'll head up, we'll go across the top of the map and we'll check out this area here, which is another main sale point. I'm going to be a bit naughty and go through the bushes here, just because it's a bit easier. And then we need to go across up here. It's a little bit more tricky with the trees, trying to get a good camera angle for you guys. But as you can see, huge fields, not completely flat, so it gives you a bit of a challenge. Now we want to turn right here. This is a similar sort of layout to the other map, so this section in the middle was quite sort of similar to that. Got all these containers, which is new. I think we had the barn sale point here and possibly something else. I think there was 2 or 3 sale points in this one area, but we've only got one here, so it's quite a big built up area. If we come round in under here, just like the first sale point, looks like you've got 2 options there, possibly. again I'm going to cut the corner, well not the corner, cut through the bushes. Actually I didn't tell you what that was, did I? That was Bacuri grains. This will do up the top there. All your standard crops, potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane, and it should be some of the custom crops. Rice, millet, black bean and sorghum. Again, no rye, nowhere to sell rye. That's weird, that. I don't understand that. Although it was left out of the description, so I don't know. Would it be a PC thing? I mean, we've had rye on the console before. I can't see why it'd be a problem. But anyway, that is enough of that. Come across now, we'll go into the sawmill, which is something different from the last map, because I think this was all one whole field along this section. I think it was a grass field as well, if I remember rightly. So I need to go sort of past the sawmill because I haven't found another way in. And it's just here. Gets a little bit bumpy. You've got a little lake pond on the right. And then this way, let's go this way. We've got our timber lumber sale point just here, right in front of us, and the icon just there. And then round the back of this building, we've got our wood chip sale point, which is just there. Let's put the headlights on it. So back out the sawmill, and we will head to the lime station, which, like I say, isn't quite as challenging getting down to it as the other map from last week. So the road kind of ends there and you go into the dirt track straight on down. As you can see, it's a lot wider, smoother. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the last one, the way you came in. It was a bit of a challenge, I quite like that. So just under here, look, you can see the hazard marks, hatched areas, is your lime station, where you can buy your lime from. Then we'll head back out onto the main road, down to two more sale points, which I think is barn and spinnery. Now I almost missed this turn, and if you weren't looking at the mini map, I mean it's there, but then it goes all overgrown, look. So you've got to kind of drive through the bushes. So spinnery to our right for your cotton and your wool, and then just in front of us our bale sale point, just like so. So come out the sawmill, lime station, down, barn, spinnery. Barn first up, that's going to take your silage, grass, hay and straw, and it will also take Brachiaria. And then we are at our spinnery, which is obviously going to do a cotton and your wool, like so. Back out into the BGA, and then we've got this sale point down here, which is another main sale point, and that will be it, which is pretty much exactly the way I went round on the last one. So where's the, here we go, on the left. Pretty sure that car was in a similar spot on the last map as well, and that bump in that field, because I stopped and spoke about the huge bump in that field. Anyway, BGA, pretty easy to suss out. You've got your sell point digester just there with tip in. You got your digestate pipe just there, and then just behind the hedge here we've got 2 bunker silos, like so. Pretty self-explanatory. I did tell you how much that was, didn't I, the BJ? If I didn't, it was 405,000 to buy. But like I said, you're gonna start making money, big money, quite quick, especially if you turn that bottom field into something, you know, like a more arable field. Like I said, get some soybeans in there, so you make a decent amount of money, then build up, go from there. So we better break, because we're gonna, don't remember the little ditch to our left with water in on the last map. That's quite nice, I like that. So just on the left, and that will pretty much be it. Again, you got your barrier coming up. I'm on the wrong side actually. So your sell point is just here underneath, like so. And this is Cooper grains, another main sell point. All your standard crops, bar the oats. Potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane, and should do rice, millet, black bean and sorghum. I did actually, because we start off with some oat in our silo, I took a full trailer load, just the SEK trailer, so it was only 4,000 litres, and I bought it here because this is the closest one, just to see if it would let me tip it in there, because I thought maybe it's just a sort of mistake, a sort of glitch, and you can actually tip it in, but it wouldn't let me. Didn't get any trigger come up or anything, so not sure what's going on there. Maybe they just don't like oat. But that is it. That is Bacuri Map by Mods BR. Hope you have all enjoyed the map tour. If you have, please give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.